Hemant, it's such a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
I want to come to your venture capital role, General Catalyst, a little later. But more importantly, I think with you next to me, it becomes pertinent for me to ask you. You have become kind of a high-tech yogi, an investor yogi. Your outlook for life and success is very different. And I thought I should start with that first, and then we can drill down to AI and other things.
Yeah, look, I think I appreciate you calling me a tech yogi, but I would say, look, I'm a capitalist. I believe that the best companies, which become the best investments, end up focusing on profit and purpose. We've had this world where we have sort of, in my opinion, erroneously believed that you're either focused on maximizing shareholder value, or you're focused on impact ideas that are good for the world somehow, and that's just not how the world works. I think the best ideas create the most valuable companies because it applies to everybody. It's inclusive. It's got the largest TAM, and so I've always just thought about how do we build companies that truly align profit and purpose. And I also think I sort of did the math the other day that if we hit our own ambitions over the next 20 years, we'll invest hundreds of billions of dollars into technology. And we can do that serendipitously, just chasing the next founder, or have a lot more intentionality towards what do we want the world to look like, and think a bit further out and have that be a set of guiding principles. And I think that's important because we're going to look back and say the decisions we made in this next 20 to 30 years is going to impact society for the next couple hundred years. And I feel that responsibility. I want to make sure we do it the right way for our children and theirs.
When we look at innovation and investment landscape, nothing to beat Silicon Valley. For the last 50 years, every other geography has been trying to emulate what Silicon Valley does, but have been successful only so much because there is a different mindset here. It's not about money that can throw at innovation. But more importantly, I think we talked about capitalism, but capitalism I don't think meant initially to have avarice as one of the key components of capitalism. So we have learned here very well, although people think otherwise, that how do we keep avarice out and focus on what can change lives, make a difference, and then money is a byproduct of that. And that has to be spread out to other emerging nations, including India. How do you see at the global landscape of these innovators and entrepreneurs who are coming in to emulate what we do in Silicon Valley?
Yeah, look, I think Silicon Valley, first of all, is very special because it's got the talent, it's got the capital, and it's got the know-how, right? And the ecosystem of companies. So that does compound as a moat. I do think capital allocation drives a lot of what happens in society. And if you look at the United States today, just think about the venture capital bet the U.S. as a country is making on AI. It's about 50% of the growth and the spend in the U.S. is focused on AI right now, And my belief is that in this next phase, every region needs to think about how they're going to drive a value with AI. What I worry a lot about is we turn, just like we outsource manufacturing and we hollowed out manufacturing jobs and sent them to China, that if every country sort of outsourced or hollowed out their service jobs, if they sent them to American cloud companies only, well, those will become, or American AI companies, those will become massive. But what's going to happen to the economy and the sustainability of, those countries? So it's actually really important that you see local ecosystem come up, local compute capabilities emerge, local energy capabilities emerge, so that you can retain that productivity. We're about to have a divergence in the labor productivity equation. And as labor melts into productivity, and you have to capture that onshore in each of these countries to make sure there is inclusive prosperity everywhere.
Coming to entrepreneurs, when you invest, some things remain fundamental, some things evolve with time and with new technologies. How do you see the current generation of entrepreneurs with specific to AI?
Yeah, so look, before in the cloud era, we were very much focused on who are these hacker founders that can get product market fit and then raise capital and really scale their customer acquisition. In the world of AI, code actually, for the most part, is going to start writing itself, right? That's where technology is going. So it's going to come down to who are the founders that know how to build deep relationships with customers. So they're technology centric, but they're not necessarily just completely product centric, but they know how to use these technologies to solve these customers' problems. The most valuable company that has been built with that mindset has sort of led the way is actually Palantir. A forward deployed engineering model. That's what led to their product strategy in hindsight. That's happening across all the industries. So founders that understand that deep relations with customers, treating each customer as a design win and going and solving many problems for them with AI is going to be what creates the next generation technology or AI companies. We're starting to see a lot of that happen.
Finally, then leadership. Very essential, whether you're investing or leading companies or managing non-profit organizations or managing countries. Leadership also evolves with time. How do you look at leadership between now and when you came here to Silicon Valley, and what do you think has changed?
Look, we went through this exercise in our own business at General Catalyst as well. One of our core values is serve others. And so I think creating a culture where the core contentment and happiness comes from curiosity and generosity. So you've got a real learning culture, and you've got a real service culture towards each other, towards your customers, towards society. I think we need to have that kind of a mindset in our next generation leaders, given the importance of technology and what we're doing with it over the next 3 decades.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here.
Having me. Yeah, absolutely.